Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss a topic which is matrix arrangement. Now, what do we do about matrix arrangement? So here we have a simple data, and we have to read this, understand this, solve this data, and we have to answer 4 5 questions that are basis this data point. Now, the first thing that we need to understand here while reading this data, that is, there are 7 friends and they are studying in 3 different schools, that is A, C, and X, and each one of these students also have a favorite fruit among the 7 given fruit, and so on and so forth. And then they have given some data, and obviously some of the data points that we will have to figure out and then answer the questions. The point here that we need to understand, first of all, that is, whenever you come across such information, the first thing that we need to do is represent this in a proper manner, because right now if you read this entire data, you will realize that all of this is in a very scattered format. So the first thing that we need to do is represent it in a better manner. So what we can do is we can create a tabular kind of a structure wherein which we can represent all of this information. So obviously we can make 3 columns: one column for friends, one for school, and then one for fruit. What also we can do here is, the school and the fruit column we will subdivide into 2 more categories also. Now, why these categories? So for example, anything that is short positive will come under the tick part, and anything that is short negative will come under the cross part, and same is applicable for fruit part. So we are also tracking the negative data here per se. So the friends are 7 friends: B, R, K, M, Y, T, and F. These are the 7 friends that we have. So the first point you will see somewhere here which says R studies in school X and he likes the fruit mango. So R goes into school X and he likes mango. That's the first data point that we have. Then second point is Y studies in school A and likes pineapple. So Y goes in school A and he likes pineapple. Then the third part which says nobody in school C likes the fruit pear. Now the thing is, we will come to this a bit later whenever we come to know ki whoever goes in school C, and then we will use that to figure it out. So I will do some marking so that we can remember this. Then the next point says P studies in the same school as only Y. So Y goes in school A, so T also goes in school A. And comes the most important part, this specific idea, which is only Y. So only Y means that only these 2 people are there who are going in school A, and none of the other student goes in school A. So that means what we can do is, for the remaining student in the school wala cross column, we can mark school A, especially whose schools we do not know. So far we know only 3 people schools: R goes in X and Y and T goes in A, and no one else goes in school A. So that is the important point that we need to understand. Then the later part says whereas M does not study in school C, so M doesn't go in school C also. So now automatically, indirectly, what you come to know here is that out of 3 schools, M is not going to 2 schools. So obviously M has to go in the third school, that is school X again. Then they are saying M likes papaya. So M ka favorite fruit is papaya. And F likes watermelon. So F likes watermelon. Then they are saying B does not like sweet lime. So B does not like sweet lime. And then only 2 of them study in school X. So only 2 people are going in school X. So now if you again look at this data in the table, you have already figured out these 2 people who are going in school X, that is R and M. and then we earlier know that only two people are going in school A, that is Y and T. That means the remaining three people, they have to go to the third school, and that school is school C. So this is how what happens is that we can figure out everyone's school basically from the students' perspective, but there is still some work left yet, which is figuring out the fruits for the three people, that is R, Y, and T. And for this particular part, we can use this data that we had figured out earlier, that nobody in school C likes the fruit pear. So we can use that. So B goes to school C, so he also should not like fruit pear. Then also K goes in school C, so he should also not like fruit pear. And then F, but then for F we do not need to do that because we have already figured out F ka fruit, which is watermelon. So we will not do it for F. So now there are a couple of ways to do this. If you observe, there are three fruits left and there are three people left, one fruit for every person. So what happens is you can see that pair is not liked by two people, that is B and K. So automatically the third person, he has to like the fruit pair, which is T. Then if you observe, this fellow does not like fruit pears, so obviously he should like sweet lime. And then the third person, he doesn't like sweet lime, he doesn't like pear. The third one, the last one left, that is banana. So B should like banana. So this is how now we can figure out everyone's. Well, now we have figured out rather everyone's school and everyone's fruit also. Now what we need to do is we need to answer the questions that are basis all these data points. So let's have a look at the questions also. So the first one, which says very simple, which fruit does T like? So we have figured that out. T likes the fruit pear, so that is your answer for the first question. Then which fruit does B like? So B likes banana. Then third one, complete list of people who study in school A. So school A wale do log we have figured out already, Y and T. Then complete list of people who are F's colleague in his school. So F goes in school C. Apart from F, B and K also go to school C. So these are our answers. B and K, they are F's colleagues. And last one, obviously, who likes sweet lime? So clearly you'll see that K is the one who likes sweet lime. So this is how we will get everyone's answer, all the five questions, the answers. And to get these answers right, you have to make sure that you make this right, because if this is incorrect, obviously your answers will also not be correct. So make sure you practice, you solve such kind of more questions, so that you can have a speed and the grip on the same subject area. I hope you guys have understood this set. Now let's move on to the other set. So what do we have here? So we have again one data point which says we have to form a team of 6 people, and the selection has to be done among 6 boys P, Q, R, S, T, U, and 5 girls A, B, C, D, E, for the basketball team. Now these are the 7 conditions that we also need to follow while making all these teams. Now here one pro tip by which we can do it very faster. Whenever you come across such questions, you should always try and look at the questions first. So if the questions are asking how many teams or something like that can be formed, then obviously we will need to work a lot and then we'll need to form the teams. But let's say the question is not asking that how many teams can be formed, then obviously you should not bother about forming the teams. Rather, you should use the elimination. So what we are going to do is we are going to use these conditions to solve all the questions straight away. So let's have a look at the question. So the first question says the team consists of four girls and the members of the team are. Now, what we can do here? We can simply go for elimination. So let's go option by option. So let's talk about the first option, which says q t a c d e, and we'll have to verify, because if these conditions are not satisfied, obviously that team is invalid any which ways. So when we look at that, you'll realize option 1 gets eliminated because of question condition number 7, which says q and t cannot be teamed together, whereas we have teamed them together, so that is not a possible answer. If we go to question number option of number 2, which says these members, so I think condition number 6 is not satisfied because q and c have to be together. They have not selected q, so that also gets eliminated. If we talk about question, option number 3, q and c have to be together, d and e have to be together, and then for girls a c d e. Yes, I think this is the correct answer. Let's just simplicity purpose, let's verify why not others. So fourth one will not be the answer because they say that r cannot go with d, whereas they have put r and d together, so that option gets also eliminated. So obviously answer option 3 is your answer for the first question after elimination. Now let's talk about question number 2. So question number 2 says team consists of 5 boys and there is only one girl, then that girl will be. So obviously who that girl will be, let's again use the elimination method, assuming that a is the girl, for example. So if a is the girl, and I will just write down these were the 5 boys that are up for selection, sorry, 6 boys, and 5 girls were these. Now they are saying 5 boys and only one girl, and they are saying, we are assuming that a is the girl that we select. So a के conditions है s के साथ नहीं जा सकता. So if we select a, we will not be able to select s, for example, and then that means these 5 boys will be in a team, which is not possible. The reason being condition number 7 says q and t cannot be teamed together. So here we will have to then put q and t together, which is not possible. So obviously this girl cannot be the one that we are supposed to shortlist. Suppose option 3, which is c, if we shortlist c, for example, then we'll have to select q, for example. Then that means we cannot, because we have selected q, we cannot select t, so t will not be there. That means these 5 boys will be there for the selection. And then what happens else? The fifth condition kicks in, which says r and b have to be together. So if we select r, we will have to also select b, which becomes the problem because there should be only one girl, which we have already shortlisted, which is c. So again that clearly tells you that c also cannot be the girl. If we go for d, so problem, d and e have to be together, which are both girls, not happening. So clearly after elimination it turns out that b is the only girl which can be selected, because for other girls there are some or the other problems or some or the other conditions that are not matching with the main data that they have given us. So see, what is happening here is the way that we are operating here, this is a way in which you can actually form the teams, and you would have realized by now that this is slightly tedious and time consuming way where a lot of mistakes also can happen. So unless and until they ask you to form the teams, do not form the teams, use elimination the way we are doing. So this was our second question from this particular idea. Let's go to the next one, the third one, which says team consists of 4 boys including t. So t is there in the team. So what are the other members? So t ka condition is q and t cannot be together. So that means option 2 and option 4 is eliminated because q is there in the team. So either it is 1, 3 or none of these. Let's look at each one of them. 3 also gets eliminated because S cannot go with A. So that is also eliminated. So either it is first or none of these. First, we should only verify whether there are 4 boys or not, including T. So yes, P, S, U and T, these are the 4 boys, and D and E are together. Then P and S have to be together. Yes, I think this is the correct answer. So answer option 1 is the answer for this third particular question. I hope you guys are understanding this. So this was the last question from this particular set, and hoping that you have understood this entire idea. And if you have any questions, do let us know. We'll be happy to help you go through all of this one more time. And if you face any issues, do let us know. And if you have liked this video, kindly like this video, share this video, and subscribe to our channel so that you can receive many such useful videos. Thank you so much.